Aloha.
Aloha.
Mele Kalikimaka and Merry Christmas. Welcome to Unity Church of Hawaii on this Sunday just before the Christmas day. Want to welcome you all. Thank you for coming to Unity Church of Hawaii. Please stand as you are able and sing along with us, Joy to the World and Angels We Have Heard on High.
To Unity Church of Hawaii on this beautiful December morn. How do you feel today, everyone? Yeah, I like to hear that. Well, here at Unity, we elevate global consciousness through the realization of oneness. And what better way to do that than to gather here on this glorious Sunday morn? So I want to thank you for saying yes to Spirit and stepping out and saying yes to being part of this worship service. I thank you. So give yourself another round of applause for saying yes to that today. And on this eve of Christmas Eve, it is just, I'm looking outside right now and I'm just always in awe, of where we are at, where we're located, situated on this great earth. And we are here in Hawaii. It is December 23rd, and it is, maybe 75, 80 degrees out. And what a beautiful, I know. Hey, everybody at home, yes, we are enjoying the life here today. And it's just a beautiful time to celebrate with each one of you. So mahalo for saying yes today, to being here. And during this season, this Christ birth, we celebrate the Christ within as well. Each one of us is that divine expression of the Most High. We are the lights of the world. Believe it, feel it, know it to be true to the very depths of your being, that that's what you are in true essence. You are that Christ life and light made manifest in expression. And you're beautiful. Each one of you. And so at Unity, we also affirm this truth and these truths of this light by saying affirmations. Affirmations are statements of truth. And so I want to try out an affirmation on today that is most fitting. Together, I am the Christ light. I am the Christ light. I allow this light to be born within me every day. I allow this light to be born within me every day. And let us breathe that in. That this light, it's renewed every single day. That no matter what happened yesterday, no matter what is to come tomorrow, that today is our point of power. That this light exists in as through us to bless the world as the extension of the Most High. And so let us just know within ourselves this truth. And as we continue on feeling this love of that Christ light, let us now rise as we are able to greet each other with handshakes, hellos, and high fives.
Please remain standing as you are able. Let's sing, Hark the Herald, Angels Sing. Sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born.
Mele Kalikimaka. Good to have you all here on this Sunday before Christmas, and tomorrow evening, and we'll hear more about this, but tomorrow evening at 6, we will have a special candle lighting service, so be sure and be here if you can. Be a wonderful and tender time together. And we have some wonderful music playing. I hear it somewhere. I don't know, I think Hark the Herald Angels are singing. And we are singing because you are here. And if this is your first time or first time since I became the minister here, I would invite you to stand as we have some welcome packets and also kukui nut lei for you, which represents being the light of the world. So if this is your first time here, we have some special gifts for you. Would you stand so that we can bring these to you? All right, here we are, right over here. All right, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Tommy and Linda and John, thank you for being here. And we hope that you come back many more times. And in that packet of information is a free breakfast pass. And so you can get a free breakfast. So, John, after this service, you can get a free breakfast. There's a pass right there in that packet, okay? And we want to give you all a blessing. So let's get the energy going. All right. Repeat after me. We bless you. We know who you really are. You are the love and light of God. Here on this planet to do amazing things. And we are here to support you, to love you, to celebrate you. Welcome to Unity. Let's give them some love. Thank you for joining us. So good to have you here. And so after the service, you can go down these steps and over here into our courtyard, and that's where we have breakfast. So if you see someone with that kukui nut lei on, be sure to welcome them and get them in the front of the line. And then welcome them here next Sunday, too, and the Sunday after that, and the Sunday after that. So it's so good to have all of you here. And we have some and welcome back, Suzanne Sims and a lot of other people. Yeah. Good to have you here. And we have a lot of wonderful love streamers who are watching us. They watch us from all over the world. They watch us on our YouTube channel. They watch us on our website. They watch us on Lytle television. They listen to us on KSUN Radio in Wichita, Kansas. Let's give a shaka. All right, we're giving a shaka to all of you, and we welcome you. We love you, and we know that where you are, God is, because God is completely present wherever you are, just as here, and that means that we are together. We're one ohana. We're one family. And so we welcome you here, and we hold the highest and best for you and your loved ones in this Christmas season. Let's give them some love. Thank you. All right, assisting us today on the platform is the amazing Reverend Johanna Kelly, and assisting us, you have a fan club, and assisting us with the daily word and meditation is religious science practitioner Cindy Hensley, and you got fans too. Woo! And she will be reading from the Daily Word. If you want a copy of the Daily Word, they are available down these steps in what's called Connection Central, right through the doors in that next building. So, Reverend Johanna, what's the news?
All right, Reverend Tim. You know I like to give them the news, and so I'm going to deliver it in a way that is easily digested. So tomorrow we have the wonderful candlelight service. Join us at 6 p.m. here in the chapel and experience the joys of the season as we commune together in song. We have a special soloist, Faith Rivera, joining us tomorrow, Zamar as well, and we'll be here to really see this Christmas season, just take part in it together and light our wonderful Christ lights together as well. And so Reverend Tim will give a brief message. We'll have a 12 Powers message, and then we will gather together and light our radiant bright lights. So 6 p.m. here in the chapel. Tomorrow evening, we will see you there.
Reverend Johanna?
Yes, sir.
I loved your affirmation.
Really?
Yeah, the affirmation that it's going to be a brief message.
Oh. I got more with that. I'm going to give a mini sermon now, Reverend Tim. Everybody, hold on. All right. So, yes, I will make this brief. But membership renewal, everyone, is upon us. Right now, in the month of December, our bylaws state that members are to renew. So, if you would like to partake in our annual meeting in March, please renew your membership by December 31st, or at least have it postmarked. The mailings have gone out if you didn't pick it up at Connection Central, or you may expedite that by going online, hint, hint, and filling out the membership form there and downloading your forms from there, saving the planet as well. So December 31st, please renew. For me, please, pretty please. And we'll see you at the membership meeting in March. We do have membership classes if you do wish to become a member, starting January 6th, 1 p.m. here in the chapel. If you would like to know more about Unity beliefs, our principles, practices, please join Reverend Tim as he explains the history and background of Unity, or the Unity movement, and how it can positively change your life. After 3 sessions, you are eligible to become a member of this spiritual community. So join us starting January 6th at 1 p.m. in the chapel. Details are in your bulletin and online as well. We'll see you there. White Stone ceremony is upon us next week. Sunday, there will be the White Stone ceremony. Now, the White Stone, what will happen is we will have a message given by Reverend Tim, and you will receive a white stone from Jerusalem. And so we've flown these, or had these flown specially for you. And during the meditation portion of the service, Spirit will give to you a new name, a new word that will guide you the coming year, for the year of 2019. Allow this word to transform you and to guide you to doing what is yours to do in the coming year. So join us next Sunday, or this coming Sunday, 9 and 11 a.m. services for the White Stone ceremony. And I believe that is all. I also want to thank those that gave to our giving tree this past season. Most of the, I think all of the Gregory House, I'm looking at my time, Gregory House is fulfilled, our Ho'opono. We thank you for participating in this giving spirit. So many mahalos to those that did. And if you have any other questions, look at your bulletin, go online, subscribe to our newsletter. Thank you.
As we go into this time of prayer, I first of all just received news of a volcanic eruption that has killed a number of people in Indonesia and has created a large tsunami that has killed a lot of people in Indonesia. So let us be holding all of those wonderful, dear people in Indonesia in our prayers. Also, yesterday morning, I think at about 8:03, 8:04, something like that, one of our beloved members suddenly, unexpectedly made his transition. Morris Shea suddenly went into the next realm, the next adventure, the next stage of his journey in the presence of God. Morris divided his time between here and Canada, and he was to be here in 16 more days. When he was here, he would sit about halfway back, close to the aisle on this side. Morris was a loving person who always served others and looked for ways to be of service to others. He was a person who did a lot of things behind the scenes and had an enormous heart for love. He sent me a message just a few days ago to tell me how much he loved me and how much I was in his heart. He was one of those people who would support you no matter what. Unconditional love. And without talking a lot about unity principles, lived it, embodied it, and you could see unity principles by his life. So we want to hold up, I told Maggie and Chelsea that we would be holding up the family in our prayers and all of our concerns and all the things going on in our country and in our world. So I invite us to go into a quiet time. If you wish, relax your gaze, or if you would like, close your eyes and take in and out a slow, deep breath. And we know in this moment that we are in the presence that wherever we are, the presence of God is, that there is no spot where God is not. We know with Morris's family, the love, the light, the peace, the strength that holds them during this time of grief, and all of his friends and all of us. And Morris, we send you love. We send you blessings on your journey. We lift up all those in Indonesia, all those affected by the eruption, the tsunami, knowing the peace, the presence, the resources, the abundance that is God, and knowing that all those people around the world affected by natural or man-made disasters, we know that God is with them, and we do our part to bless their lives. And let us go into a moment of silence as we lift up the requests and the intentions of our hearts. Spirit, we know that your presence is here, anointing the music and the spoken word, and anointing each one of us individually, opening our hearts so that we are receptive to truth, receptive to the presence. We give thanks, knowing all is well. And we say together, and so it is. Amen.
Today's daily word is joy. And our affirmation reads, "The joy of the Lord is my strength. I am God's joy." Let's speak that truth together. The joy of the Lord is my strength. I am God's joy. The reading continues. Charles Fillmore's The Revealing Word tells us that joy is the happiness of God expressed through humankind. Because I am God's living expression, joy is my birthright, part of my nature. It goes on to remind us that gladness gives us strength, primarily when we focus on spiritual things. I am an open channel of God's love and joy when family and friends gather. This is a time of joy and love, of caring and compassion, of opening my mind and my heart, my very soul to the divine. Joy is a divinely inspired attitude I take with me into every experience of life. I share my attitude with everyone I meet as the divine happiness in me recognizes itself in them. I gratefully affirm, the joy of the Lord is my strength. I am God's joy. And today's scripture is from Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 10. And it simply states, the joy of the Lord is your strength. And friends, this is the time in the service where we generally ask you to close your eyes and lower your gaze if it so suits you. And today I'm called to invite you to join me in having your eyes open if that feels good to you. Because friends, a meditation doesn't always come from a space of turning within, but sometimes it comes from a space of looking with those beautiful eyes outward to the people sitting next to us, to see the expression of joy right here in this very room. And so I invite you to feel that joy within yourself, to know that we are in the express business, friends. There's no need to wait. There's no need to wait for Christmas to come. There's no need to wait for after service to feel the joy. We've got it right here and right now. And all we need to do is put our intention on it, our attention on it, and that gift is ours. We can simply unwrap it right here in this now moment. It is the light of who we are. And so, friends, I invite you to ask that question of yourself. How am I expressing joy today? How am I shining the Christ light that I have, that I am, out into the world in this now moment? And so we just take a moment in time and steep into the silence with that thought, with that intention, right here, right now. And we breathe deeply. How good it is that I am looking around this room tonight and I see the light of God reflected in each face, in each person, in each sound, in each song, in each space. And as I look around the room, I know that you look around the room and you see that light because you are that light. We are all that light. And I know that our beloved friend, Morris, who has a front row seat right here, right now, he too is that light. And he's shining down and he's saying, brothers and sisters in Unity Church of Hawaii, shine on, shine on. And so today we shine on, friends, because we are that light. And together we affirm. And so it is. Namaste.
And we dedicate this song to Morris Shea because this was his favorite song that we sung.
Many moonlit nights, cold and weary, with a babe inside, and I wonder what I've done. Holy Father, you have come and chosen me now to carry your son. I am waiting in a silent prayer. I am frightened by this load I bear in a world as cold as stone. Must I walk this path alone? Be with me now. Be with me now. Love of heaven, hold me together. Be forever near me. Breath of heaven, breath of heaven, lighten my darkness. Pour over me your holiness, for you are holy. Breath of heaven, do you wonder as you watch my face if a wiser one should have had my place? But I offer all I am for the mercy of your plan. Help me be strong. Help me be. Help me. Breath of heaven, hold me together. Be forever near me. Breath of heaven, breath of heaven, lighten my darkness. Pour over me your holiness, for you are holy. Oh, breath of heaven, hold me together. Be forever near me. Breath of heaven, breath of heaven, lighten my darkness. Pour over me your holiness, for you are holy. Breath of heaven, breath of heaven, breath of heaven.
Thank you, Faith. That was beautiful. Thank you. That song is Mary's song about surrendering to the process of giving birth to the Son of God, giving birth to Jesus, giving birth to this amazing divine presence. And we are called to do that in our day, to give birth to the divine presence. We are called to give birth in our day to the Christ. But it's not always easy, yeah? It's not always easy to give birth. If we could have the... Never? It's never easy? I've talked to a couple of women who said, oh, it's easy. Oh, really? Oh, okay. That was very different from the experience with my son. But anyway, okay. Now, I want to thank Ralph and Don for providing their baby picture. Just kidding. Sometimes birth can be a painful process. Coming into the world can be painful. And bringing a new life into the world can be painful, yeah? And when we are giving birth to something new in our lives, that can be painful. That can be stretching. It can really stretch us. I know that anybody who has ever given birth has stretched. So... It's just a fact. Nothing wrong with it. But how big is your vision? Is your vision big enough that only the presence of God could accomplish it? Is your vision so big that it will stretch you beyond your comfort zone? Is your vision so big that when it is born, people say, wow, that's a vision? But there can be labor pains along the way, yeah? When my son was born, early days of February, he was born on February 4th, but, oh, wow, that was a long process, those 9 months. And then his mom went into contractions, labor. Now, we were in the foothills of the Ozarks. It was my first church that I had ever been the senior minister, in the foothills of the Ozarks. And there was a little county hospital. Very nice people, wonderful doctor. And they probably would not do this with women today. But we counted the number of hours of labor, and it was 32 hours. Yeah, that was some labor. Now, obviously, his mom was carrying the biggest brunt of that, but I was there to give support through all of that, and sometimes support her back, and sometimes just help relieve the pain, and trying to be this peaceful presence in the midst of things that aren't always peaceful. And even after, the water broke, hours. And it's like, this intensified the contractions but did not speed up the process. Just made it more miserable. So finally they got her ready. Oh, Marissa, thank you for bringing your baby. What is your baby's name? Brixton. Good. How old is Brixton? 4 months. So good to have Brixton here. And so they said, we got to take her to the operating room. Forget labor and delivery. We're going to take her to the operating room. And I was like, oh. So they gave her some medicine to prepare her for the operating room. Once they did that, then she began to relax enough, and they came out and found me. And I had just gotten my meal. And they said, hurry, come quick, scrub up, clean up. You need to come into the operating room. She's giving birth naturally. I'm like, oh. So I run in there, and what an amazing process. We had gone through all these Lamaze classes where, okay, breathe like this. But after a while, I needed to just shut up and let her do what she needed to do. But I was there right beside her throughout. And the doctor said, no. We need you at this end, up here by her head. So I thought I was going to catch the baby. Anyway, so what a joy when my son John Mark came forth. And I had seen pictures of babies, and babies are born looking different ways. He came out looking like a wrestler. He had these broad shoulders and like it was like a year old or something. What's going on here, you know? And what joy filled our heart. Yeah, she was exhausted. Yeah, I was tired, but we had so much joy. So I want to tell you that whatever Spirit is leading you to do and whatever is wanting to be born in, through, and as you, yes, it'll stretch you. It'll stretch your comfort zone. It'll stretch you in ways that you can't even imagine. But the joy that will replace that will be beyond belief. I want to share this passage of Scripture from Luke chapter 2. Luke chapter 2, verses 6 and 7. While they were there, that is, Joseph and Mary, the time came for the baby to be born. Let me pause there for a moment. A lot of people don't know this. My church history professor in seminary talked about this. There was a time in the early days of the Christian church, there were all kinds of controversies. We think maybe that only now is the time of controversies. There were lots of controversies then. And there was a controversy long time ago about this statement, for the baby to be born. There were those in the Christian movement who said that is not possible. Jesus could not be born. He appeared but could not be born. So they were already making Jesus so separate and so different that they didn't think that he could even succumb to the idea of being born. That somehow he just glided in on a golden chariot or something. I don't know what they thought. But no. Jesus chose to come like one of us. Jesus came as one of us. And came through not only the process that we came through to be born, but he came through this process where, as it goes on to say, she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger, which is a feeding trough. This is a feeding trough for animals. Not a crib. This isn't a hospital. Because there was no guest room available for them. They weren't even in a room, you know. So they were like immigrants. They had to travel to a different area of the country to register for a census. And they evidently didn't have friends or family to stay with. At this particular moment, they were homeless. So Jesus chose to not only be born, but to come into a situation where he would be born in a homeless situation, where he would be born away from home, where he would be born, obviously, in a place where there were animals. Okay? Yeah, one of us. But one of us who fully realized that presence of God living in, through, and as him. Giving birth to that Christ presence. And so that beautiful song, Breath of Heaven, is about Mary submitting to being this avenue, this vessel to give birth to this Christ presence, which each one of us are called to do. Each one of us are called to give birth to this Christ presence. What does that mean? Well, first of all, it means that within you is that presence of God. Thank you. Crying out, and that was actually the word I was getting ready to say. Crying out to be born. Crying out to express. Crying out to come forth and to do something amazing. That Christ presence, that divine presence living in you is wanting to come forth. And in unity, we call that the Christ. In Sanskrit scriptures, it's called the Paramatma, this divine presence living in us. John chapter 1 says that everyone who came into the world came with this light. So that George Fox, the founder of the Friends movement, the Quakers, picked up on that verse and said, every one of us came in with the light. We don't have to pay a priest to get it. It's already here by just being. That Christ light exists in you and is wanting to express. And sometimes you feel holy dissatisfaction. Holy. Holy dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction knowing that there is something more that you are called to do. Something that you are here to express. Something that Spirit is wanting to birth in, through, and as you. And you may resist it at first. You might say, who am I to give birth to that? Let someone else do it. Let me give someone else the idea. Maybe they'll pick up the ball and run with it. Again, if it comes to you, it's yours to do. So if that divine expression in you is wanting to come forth and is wanting to express, allow that, like that song was saying, surrendering to the process, knowing it will push you beyond what you think were your limits. And you will find that you're capable of much, much more than you realized. Yesterday, I was watching a video that was on Facebook. A friend of mine in Wichita. And this friend of mine is this beautiful young lady who is so shy. Most people have never heard her talk. And many times it would be a challenge for her just to get out of the house. Have you ever known somebody who had difficulty just getting out of the house? They didn't want to get out there. They just wanted to stay inside because the world felt scary. I saw a video of her yesterday. She decided to stretch herself. So she started taking dancing classes, which means dancing with other people, engaging with other people, and going to public places to dance. And so I see this video of her in this elegant black formal gown and black spiked heels and dancing with these different people, doing these amazing dances to all kinds of different rhythms, and you can just see the real her coming out. That's what I'm calling you to do. This is a great coming out party. We're here to bring out that Christ presence, to not retire from it, to not shy away from it, but to bring it forth, to give birth to the Christ as you. There is something amazing and unique wanting to be born as you. Tomorrow evening we'll talk more about details, about how to do that, some principles by which to do that. At 6 o'clock tomorrow night right here. But that presence, that Christ Spirit is wanting to be born as you. Today, every day, to touch the lives of those around you. There are so many people watching you, more than you realize. I think of Morris Shea. He was kind of in the background a lot of the time, but always doing whatever he could to serve and to love others. And just recently he contacted us because on January 6th, we're going to have our burning bowl ceremony where we will release those things that we no longer wish to have in our lives. And we will write them down on paper and we will put them to the flame and release them. And then we will write a letter to God. Our vision of what God is wanting to do forth as us. We will write a letter to God. And as happened last year, so this year also, Morris contacted us and said, I want to pay for all of that postage to send people their letters to God from last year. He would do these things behind the scenes. He didn't lecture to me a lot. He didn't tell me what I should do or shouldn't do. He just shined his light. And you can never extinguish that Christ light. Nothing can defeat it. It can never die. That light is eternal. Morris is actually not gone. He's just shifted into a whole other dimension. Each one of us here are to shine that light, to give birth to that light, to be the presence of God. One of the theologians that I love from the Middle Ages is Meister Eckhart. He was born around 1260. He was a Dominican priest and monk, an educator. He was a professor. And he has wonderful teachings. And his image of God is very, very, well, think, Middle Ages, Catholic Church, hierarchy. And during that time, what he was teaching is this, and this comes from Meister Eckhart. God lies on a maternity bed all day long and gives birth and creates. That was his image of God. Now, some of the priests were like, what? He was a little ahead of his time. Brought him up to tribunals, too, for things like that. But we are all here to give birth. That's why Mary is such a venerated character, because she's here giving birth to this divine presence, and that's what all of us are called to do. Let's give birth to that divine light, not only this Christmas, but every day. Aloha. Thank you.
Look at the time, in the wink of an eye, it's Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Places to be, family to see, and all the things I rush around to buy. Slow down and find the wonder of a child, 'cause it's more than a season of giving gifts to those we love. It's about looking deeper for the peace that we dream of, like a baby in a manger with new eyes to see the world. Love is born in an instant. Isn't that what it's all for? Maybe this year I'll show that I care by giving that most precious gift of time. Yeah. Where can I start? Can I open my heart to be with those that mean the world to me? Slow down and see all that Christmas can be, 'cause it's more than a season of giving gifts to those we love. It's about looking deeper for the peace that we dream of, like a baby in a manger with new eyes to see the world. Love is born in an instant. Isn't that what it's all for? This Christmas, let's light a candle and grab a star on a tree. gingerbread angels. Be grateful for the life we lead. Let's take the time now to simply breathe, remembering what Christmas means. It's more than a season of giving gifts to those we love. It's about looking deeper for the peace that we dreamed of. Like a baby in a manger with new eyes to see the world. Love is born in an instant. Isn't that what it's all for? 'Cause it's more than a season of giving gifts to those who love. It's about looking deeper for the peace we all dream of. Like a baby in a manger with new eyes to see the world. Love is born in an instant. Isn't that what it's all for? Isn't that what love is for? It's Christmas. Ooh, that's what love is for.
Isn't that what love is for?
Oh, more than a season.
More than a season.
It's Christmas. Whoa. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, wow. Christmas time. Hard to believe it's already here. And during Christmas time, some people think about end of the year giving and giving to the place where they are spiritually fed and nurtured. So we would be honored if you consider this spiritual center as a place that you would like to invest that abundance that has come to you through Spirit. And in the seats in front of you, there are envelopes. At the end of the year, we like to give a bonus to staff. And so if you would like to contribute towards that bonus for staff, there are envelopes there, and we would appreciate whatever you would like to give towards the staff bonus. So I invite you to take a deep breath. Feel the presence of God. Feel the presence of peace. Feel the presence of abundance. And repeat after me. I give my offering.
I give my offering.
With gratitude and joy.
With gratitude and joy.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen. Amen.
Kalikimaka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. Here we know that Christmas will be green and bright. The sun will shine by day and all the stars that guide. Kalikimaka is the one in his way to say Merry Christmas to you. Kalikimaka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. Here we know that Christmas will be
Maka, everyone.
Welcome to Unity Church of Hawaii Live. Thank you. Oh, it's so good. And we want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. And by the way, I'd like for all of you to extend your hands back here to this wonderful being, Greg Campbell. If you would extend your hands to him. Greg has been one of our primary sound people. And Greg will be back sometimes, but he's stepping down from being here so much in this position. So repeat after me. Greg, we bless you.
Greg, we bless you.
We thank you.
We thank you.
We love you.
We love you.
We recognize who you really are.
We recognize who you really are.
You are the Christ.
You are the Christ.
And so it is. Amen. Thank you. All right. Now we're going to bless the offering. I know they're still collecting it, so, right? So, as we extend our hands, we bless this offering in the consciousness that it represents infinite substance, that there is never any lack or limitation, that we are recirculating the divine abundance as our lives. We go forth from here to be the light of the world. We give thanks and we say together, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Thank you. And we have some amazing prayer chaplains. Yes? You ready? Okay, prayer chaplains. Oh, and as they're coming up, if you are an LUT or an LUTC, licensed Unity teacher or licensed Unity teacher candidate, after I greet people, just here in the sanctuary, I'd like to meet with us just real briefly to ask if you could help me with tomorrow evening service. And it'll be simple and short, but yeah? Okay. So here are wonderful prayer chaplains, and they're ready to pray with you, to know the truth with you, to have a 1-minute miracle with you. So feel free to seek them out right after the service. Let's give a hand to our prayer chaplains. Thank you. All right, let's stand and join a friendly hand as we sing together our peace song, and Aloha Oe.